Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a special early edition of the Uncoder series on Unqork's Twitch channel today. As I told you on Tuesday, today we have this special episode to talk about our hackathon. And to help me with that, I've got a bunch of great folks, both internal and Unqork, and some of our finalists who entered the hackathon. So I'm very excited to show what they've done, announce a winner today, get your vote as part of that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks for being here, and let's get going. So I think the first thing I should probably do is introduce our MVPs, our most important value VIP guests today, which are our 4 finalists to the hackathon. So let's just jump in there. And Monica, let's start with you.
Hey everyone, so I'm Monica. I'm working as an assistant manager in KPMG, and it's been more than 2.5 years with Unqork, and I've been really enjoying it. And this hackathon really made me look into different aspects and very new features of Unqork, which is really exciting. Yeah, it's a really eye-opener opportunity for us.
Cool. Thank you so much for participating, and congratulations on making it this far. Prem, how about kicking it over to you?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Prem and I work at Accenture as application development analyst. So I was working with Unqork for the past 3 months, and so far it was good. And I'm trying to explore the new components and new things in Unqork. And coming to this hackathon, it helped me to explore new components, so which I will be showcasing in a couple of minutes. So, and I have done some certifications in Unqork like professional and associate. So yeah, that's it from me.
Awesome. Excited to hear you use so much new stuff in it. Thank you again for participating, and congratulations again for being one of our finalists. Pushparaj, your turn.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening. So this is Pushparaj here from India, and I work as a software engineer at Persistent Systems. So it has been like 9 months in Persistent and Unqork as well. So it has been a great journey. I'm happy that I learned the right technology at the right time. So this community and hackathon definitely helped boosted my confidence to configure everything on my own. So I'm happy to be part of this final day, and all the best to all the participants as well. Thank you.
All right. What a good sport. Thank you also for participating and making it this far. Shivangi, take us home.
Hey everyone, this is Shivangi Pathak. So I'm working as an associate consultant at KPMG. I have started my Unqork journey with Bootcamp 2020. It's been around 1.6 years. I'm working on Unqork. I have an experience of 2 major life projects, one on healthcare domain, one is on insurance domain. Participating on hackathon was really fun. It reminds me of my college days hackathon. The only difference is when you're working with traditional approach, it took time to create even a single page to get a look and feel of app. But with Unqork, it makes too easy to build logics and track the errors and to check the layout and views by only quick fixes. So overall, I will say it's privileged to be a part of such a rapidly growing community and learn something new every day. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, right technology at the right time. You hear that, everybody? Thank you, Shivangi. Thank you again for participating, and congratulations again for making it this far. So now I'm going to kick it over to our Director of Community, Danny, who you've seen before on this stream, and he'll tell us some more about the hackathon and get us going with the participants.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks, Nick, and thanks to our finalists and everyone who participated in the hackathon. In addition to these 4, we had a number of other creators who submitted applications that they built. So I'm here to introduce myself or talk about our community and really about why we're excited about this hackathon. But I think our finalists already did that, right? Like Nick, I love, you heard what I heard too, the right technology at the right time. And a number of our finalists mentioned that this was a really great exercise for them to get to use parts of the Unqork platform they were maybe not familiar with. So you've heard they all have varying levels of experience. They're working on Unqork applications in their day-to-day job, but if you're focused on a specific industry or a specific use case, you might not have the opportunity to explore all parts of the Unqork platform. So working with a couple colleagues, we came up with this idea of a hackathon. And really the reason we wanted to do it was that opportunity to sharpen your skills, try something new, features that you might not be familiar with, ultimately develop skills that we hope will speed up your builds and make your apps more successful and you more productive. And it's also an opportunity for creators in our community to showcase their skills, right? to learn from each other, for us to learn from these four, as well as some of the others who participated, to look at interesting use cases, to look at configurations, how did they do that, etc. But also a chance to get fun and creative. And the scope of this hackathon was build an app. We encouraged them to use marketplace accelerators like our snippets and pre-built templates and integrations and things like that. And also encouraged participants to use some of our newer features from our spring 2022 release. But in terms of what type of app to build, there was no kind of specification there. So we had some fun apps. We had some very much tied to, the enterprise software that a lot of our customers and partners are building. But we had some really creative stuff that you'll see today, as well as some of the ones we're sharing on our community hub as well. So a little background, how did we get here? It was an asynchronous hackathon. I think Shivangi mentioned that reminded her of college days. And for those of you who have participated in the hackathons, a lot of times that happens at a conference, at an event, or in person at your company. I know a number of our partners and customers are doing hackathons for their employees. We wanted to do something that brings our community together. But our community is spread out all over the world, different time zones, things like that. It's hard for us to all be together. So we tried an asynchronous hackathon where we put out this prompt. We gave everyone the same criteria, the same challenge. Gave them a couple of weeks to find time outside of their day-to-day to build something, to explore, things like that. As I mentioned, a lot of this was getting to know the marketplace, getting to know new features in our spring 2022 release. So to take a look at those, to familiarize yourself with them, and then to plan out what app do you want to build. So they had a couple of weeks to do that, but we asked them to keep the time. We weren't looking for somebody to build like a super robust app. Obviously, the more sophisticated, the better. But we wanted to make it inclusive and not too much of an ask of everyone. So they spent a couple hours or so building an app, something that they could do quickly, which also showcases what you can do with Unqork, how quickly you can get to a workable application. And I think our finalists showcase that today. So after the initial asynchronous build where they submitted it along with the video explaining their configuration, we had four judges who helped determine our finalists. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quickly. And you can see who our judges are. We have two of our judges here with us. One you should be familiar with if you watch this Twitch stream, and Nick, who kicked us off today, our chief evangelist. Also with us today, we have Alex, our chief marketing officer, but we also have Julia, who's our chief customer officer here at Unqork, and Yo Tom from our product team. All four of these looked at all of the submissions, took a look at the videos that everyone submitted explaining their apps, took a look at the configurations and the express preview as well. So since we have two of our judges here today, Nick, I'm going to throw it back to you. What was your experience like judging this, and any kind of thoughts on what you saw from all of the submissions, and particularly our four finalists here today?
Yeah, well, it was a lot of fun to see all of the ones that came. They were all so different, completely different angles that folks came at it, and that kind of relates to what you were saying, earlier, Danny, about this being an opportunity for people to explore use cases and solutions and applications outside of the typical types of applications they're building on behalf of customers or partners and things like that. So that's what really stood out to me is, as you're about to see as we go through, how different and how out of the box all of these participants went with their actual application. So thank you so much for all the creativity. It was a lot of fun to see, because as we try to show you every day or every week on this channel, Unqork is a development platform more than any industry platform, right? You can build endless amounts of applications and types of solutions within it. So I really think that these participants in particular really embodied that message, and I thought that was wonderful to see.
Then Alex, our chief marketing officer, let's bring you in here to introduce you, and I'd love to hear what you thought about your experience reviewing the hackathon. And I imagine from a marketing officer, hearing things like the right technology at the right time makes you happy, huh?
Oh, it's music to all of our ears, Danny. And I want to thank all the participants, those that are on with us today on the stream, and really everyone that participated and created software for the hackathon. This is why we built Unqork. I mean, we created the codeless architecture to arm developers like those that are joining us here to build software better, faster, and really to realize dreams of what they want to create where they may be held back by other technologies. What stands out to me, certainly, Nick, like you said, the creativity of the submissions, but also the sheer joy, just seeing the happiness with which this assembled group and really everyone that participated was able to invent software that maybe seemed super difficult with other ways, and kind of express that in all of your demos and all your descriptions. So I'm excited to get into it today, and thanks again to everyone for participating.
Great. And so with that, the last thing for me before we get into our demos is, so Nick, Alex, Julia, and Yotam were our judges. They determined the finalists, evaluating the sophistication of the app. Did they meet the criteria of using marketplace accelerators, things like that? Took a look at the configurations, but you all as our audience, as fellow creators, members of our community, get to help us determine the winner. So after the 4 finalist demos, we're gonna share a link for you to go vote. It's pretty simple. You just choose which one was your favorite or who do you think should win. And at the end of this live session, Alex is going to announce for us the winner of our first Unqork Community Hackathon. But with that, let's go ahead and dive in. Let's hear from our finalists. Let's see some of the demos. And we're going to start with Monica. So Monica, do you want to introduce your app and talk us through what you built?
Sure. So I'll go ahead and share my screen right now. I hope you're able to see it. So this is just a basic dashboard that is aimed at automating the number of tasks a HR would typically do. So if you're a HR person, you're scheduling a lot of interviews, and you're going to be communicating with interview candidates and then interviewer panel, and you would be getting the feedbacks from different people and then communicating whether they're selected or rejected. So I thought of automating this through this simple dashboard. So imagining myself as a HR, if I were to log into this dashboard, I would come here and see this upload option. So imagining I already have a sheet with me which has some of the candidates' details, I would just upload it here, and I can see all of the data getting populated. Initially, all of the status would be pending feedback, which is understandable. And I would just know, okay, for this particular person, Dwight Schrute, I'm going to schedule the interview with someone. I'll enter that particular person's email ID, and I would say request feedback. Let's just go ahead and do one more as well. So once I've done that, the person whose email ID was entered there would get an email notification saying, please submit the feedback for Dwight Schrute, for Monica, by clicking on this link. So once I click on this, a feedback form would open. The name is auto-populated. I can enter. So this is the interviewer's experience. The person sending the email is the HR, and the person opening this feedback form is the interviewer. So he's going to enter, okay, experience is this, interviewed for Unqork. Here I can add any number of skills. Saying Unqork, very good. Communication, average, and overall good. And I'm going to select it. I just submitted it. I also have another form to fill, which is for Monica. So here I'm going to say so one of them was selected, one of them was rejected. Now in this case, the HR is going about doing other activities, and then once they can come back to the dashboard, they can click on refresh data and see if there's any new status change that has happened. And here we can see one of them was selected, one of them was rejected. And here's a small chart that gives you a visual representation of the data. So here we can see 2 is pending, 1 selected, and 1 is rejected. And with this information, what I can do is I can see, oh, this candidate is rejected. I can click on view. And I would be able to see what feedback was written for that particular person. Maybe Unqork is below average. Okay. Here, the most important thing here is communicating the status to the candidate. So if the candidate is selected, obviously the HR is going to reach out and then say your next interview would be scheduled or whatever, like the next process. But usually candidates who are getting rejected do not get any communication. They face radio silence. With this, we can overcome it easily by just clicking on the send candidate email. What happens is an automatic email is triggered to this particular person with this email ID. So again, I've configured my own email here. And you get a status mail saying, sorry, we could not proceed with the application. So it's just an intimation to the candidate to move on and know the status of the application. Same way, if it is selected, you will get a customized message saying you have been selected. So this is the overall flow of the application. Apart from this, one neat feature the dynamic view grid of Unqork provides is this grouping. Here I can just select what columns I want to see on this grid. So I can just untick it and drag this column here, and I can group by status. So I can see the selected ones, rejected ones, pending ones. So this exactly mimics the Excel. So for users who are very used to Excel, this might be really user friendly. And one more feature that's given by default by the dynamic view grid is this add button. So apart from importing data from your own, you can also add any number of rows you want here. So there are validation setup, you cannot leave it empty. That's why the error is being triggered. But apart from that, you are allowed to do basically anything with this view grid. Yeah, that is the application flow.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for that. And I promise you, or I promise the other finalists here, when I was judging Monica's, I did not give her extra points because she used Office characters, and Dwight Schrute happens to be my favorite one. So I made it this far purely based on configuration skills alone. So thank you again, and just a couple follow-ups for you here. So I saw you use the new grids, which is amazing. We did a stream on that a couple months ago with one of our product managers. Tell me more about like how and why you decided to use the grids in your build.
So one of the main functions is this variety that it allows. So if it was a static view grid, we wouldn't be able to achieve this editability on the view grid. We can maybe achieve it, but with a lot of custom config. But this just comes out of the box with the view grid component. And another main feature is the grouping. So if it was a static view grid, again, it would take huge amount of config to do grouping and sorting. And we all know how many bugs that comes with it. So this is really, really helpful and so quick to configure. So I can just drag and drop and group by. So these are the main two reasons I went with this. And I also chose to use a uniform view grid for the feedback form so that I can add any number of skills, or if I don't want, I can just delete it. So this is again a uniform grid, which is pretty helpful here.
Awesome. That was very exciting to see. One other question for you. So a lot of great configuration here, but what is the one thing you did that you're most proud of, or you think folks watching would find the most interesting?
So I was able to complete this entire application by just using three main components. So just view grids, uniform grid, and then email component. Just stitch it all together and you have an application. So that is, I think, very interesting aspect about this entire application.
Cool. Would definitely agree. So thank you so much. And for everyone watching, remember Monica's demo as we get to the judging later on. Let's jump to our next finalist now, Prem.
Yeah, let me share my screen. Hope everyone can see my screen. So I have come up with a game. So it's a rock, paper, scissors game. Many might have been familiar with this game. Some might have played or some might have seen. So let me go through what this game is all about. So we have three symbols: rock, paper, and scissors. So the user can trigger one out of the three symbols. So at the same time, the second player will be triggering the same symbol, not the same symbol. One out of the three symbols will be shown here. So out of these two symbols, there will be only one winner. So those instructions I have given using the carousel component. as you can see at the bottom, it is a carousel where I have given the instructions. So if it is paper versus scissors will be the winner. And using the left and right arrows, we can see the instructions of the game. So if it is rock versus paper, paper will be the winner. And if it is rock versus scissors, rock will be the winner. So let's go to the game. Like when the user clicks any of the three buttons, you can see the user's input here and the second player's input here. So when I'm going to trigger a button, so you can see, right? So so the user's input is given at the left and the computer's input we can see at the right. So since both the symbols are same, it is tie and scorecard hasn't changed. So let me try with some other input. So it again came with the same. So now you can see, right? So I have given scissors, but the computer had given me paper. So since between scissors and paper, scissors will be the winner. So we can see the scorecard change. So as you can see, we can play with this game. So we can see the scorecard change and the status of each particular round. So building this application, I have used some images. So as you can see, mostly I have used 5 images. Among that, these 3 are one, and you can see this default image. So I have taken these images so that they will be related to the application, and I have shown some related images. So using this carousel component, so it was from marketplace listings. So I have taken that snippet and I have customized according to my requirement. So I have given this data in the data table, and we are able to see that data here. So each row in the data table corresponds to each slide, and we can see those data here. So we can play it around, like we can go through left and right arrows, and we can see the data slide change. And when we user clicks on any button, we can see the round and status and the scorecard change. So yeah, that's it from me.
All right, awesome stuff, super fun. I think you all might have seen we did an episode a few months ago on Don't Cork the Ice. So we're all about game development in Unqork. Love seeing yet another game being built. We also had someone build Wordle at some point. So loving all of these games. We got to create an Unqork arcade at some point where folks can just come in and play Unqork built games. So you mentioned you did use the marketplace listing for the carousel, which is amazing. What's maybe another aspect of this configuration and application that you're proud of and would want to share with folks that they might be interested in?
So I can say random symbol generation. So as you can see, when the user click on any of the 3 buttons, we are randomly generating the 3 symbols from computer side. So I can say it as one of the things I can be proud of. And we can see at the center, right, the status of the round, and we can see the scoreboard changing according to the winner. So I can say these things.
Awesome. Yep. Very dynamic. Very, very cool. Thank you. Good luck as we get into voting. Everyone remember Prem and the rock, paper, scissors game. So let's kick it over now to Pushparaj, our third finalist.
Sure. Let me share my screen. So what I've done is today's world is all about data and communication. So to tackle that, I've made a Unqork application for messaging or email sending. So this is totally built on Unqork. So the thing is that we don't need to integrate with anything else when we want to use email application or messaging users within applications. So there are 3 things in this application. First is sign in or sign up. Then there is main page and there is update. So in sign in, we have user creation. We have forget password. If the user forgotten the password, he can update the password, or he can directly go and sign in with the login credential. The second page is the main page, wherein we can send messages to any third person. Other person keeping third person in CC. We can also attach any documents. In this case, we have attached PDF. We can check the inboxes what we have. We want to draft and send. We can even do that. We can check the outbox. We can also filter from other messages what we have got or from we want to send to. Similar functionality like we have in Outbox. And we have update as well. So we have update password or update username or update. So let me just share my screen again and let me jump to the application. So once we have user logged in, this is the landing page wherein users has to log in. So since we are doing on the first time, let's sign up. So let's say I type it Ram, and password also let's keep Ram. So in case if the password is something else, so if I type 1, it will give me an error. So the password has to be same. So let me just make the password same. Now password has been successfully generated. Let's go to back in, and we'll type RAM. And again, there is here a password recheck. So if the passwords are not same, we'll not be able to log in. So now we have logged in. So you see we logged into RAM page. This is user specific page. Now here RAM has three options. You can check the inboxes, you can draft and send messages, or you can check the send items. So since we have for the first time, RAM will not have any inbox. So let's draft a send message. So if you see, all these are new messages, which new users which are generated. So let's say we want to send to Ganesh. We don't want to CC anyone. We'll just say, hi Ganesh. And let's attach some pic. So let's say we attach Unqork logo. So Unqork logo has been attached and we can send this. So now message has been sent successfully. Now let's send to John as well. So let's say, hey John. Let's say, hello John. Now we don't want to attach anything, you can just send it. So the messages has been sent successfully from RAM. So we can check it will automatically get populated. So here we have two sandboxes. Hello John, hi Ganesh. So if we check John, if we check inboxes, it automatically populated. John has received that message. Same goes with Ganesh. If we check the inboxes, Ganesh has been received. So we have the time as well when we have received the message. Same goes with John. We receive the time and other things as well. So here we can even filter. Let's say we want to filter with hello. So if you see, if I just type hello, it automatically populated. So we can just filter based on name, or we can filter based on the person we have sent a message. So let's say we want to filter on Ganesh. So it is automatically populated. And one more important functionality is we can directly generate PDF. So if I say generate PDF, a PDF will be automatically generated of all the mails which we have sent from RAM to all the other members. Same goes if we want to check for John, the inbox he want to generate PDF. So we can just hit on generate PDF, and the PDF will be automatically generated. So we can see this is similar like our outbox. But the thing is that it's completely built on Unqork. So we don't have to depend on any third-party integration. We can just use this entirely as a snippet, and we can integrate this in the main application. So let me quickly go back to our demo. So as we see, there is two main things. We have login flow and we have messaging flow. First step is authentication. So that is sign up if the user with the user login credentials. If user has forgotten, you can reset the password and come back and use the login credential. Then we land up on dashboard page. So dashboard page, we can check the inbox and outbox, or we can send draft messages, the thing which we saw in the demo right now. Okay, we have already done with demo. So we have so what tools which we used. So for all the CRUD operations, I've used all internal API tools. So API using plugin internal APIs, the CRUD operations can be done very seamlessly. That actually helps us a lot. So and using query parameters, we learned on user specific pages. So if you see, the page was same for Ram, Ganesh, and the third person. But the thing is that we were able to show that using specific page, using query parameters. So we were able to pass the username from query. We were able to read on the page. And from marketplace listing, I have used API service of SendGrid. The SendGrid service is for the forget password thing. So when you hit forget password, you'll get a mail on your outbox on the registered email ID. Then we have transform. Transform is used for the PDF generation. So dynamic view grid, dynamic grid, and this view grid. So this both grids, view grids are used for that sandbox and inbox things. And we have schema, which is for database storing. And we have automatically dynamically updating the referencing. So if you see, if I was trying to filter, so I was automatically able to see the RAM name there. I was able to self-mail. So that was automatically generated from dynamic data. So what are the major highlights? So this thing can be very used for any other organization tool. So this whole thing can be used as a snippet. Then we can integrate in any other application, like maybe HR tool or something like Engage 360. And integration will be very seamless. So what enhancements can be done? So first of all, that authentication can be done more proper. Using password, we have that 7-character length, and 2 should be alphanumeric. Something like that can be added. We can have rejects as well. So and also the the complete look and feel can be changed if you integrate with better CSS and all. And what is most I like about this is highly scalable, very easy to maintain, and there is seamless performance with this. So yeah, that's all. Yeah, one thing I forgot to show you. So if you see here, the RAM has options. He can either log out, he can update details as well. So when he update details, if he wants to type any other name, he can directly hit update, and he'll get the RAM name will be updated for all the other users as well. Secondly, if I just log out now, I'll be coming back to the same page, and I can forget password. So when I forget password and I give my email ID, that email ID link will be shared, and I'll be going to that particular forget password page. So I'll just open the forget password page. So here I have to type RAM. If I type RAM1, it will not be, that user does not exist. So I have to type RAM, and then I can enter new password. So RAM1, RAM1. So now the password will be updated. If the password do not match, I'll get this error. So once the password has been updated, I can use the new passwords and I can go back to login page. So yeah, that was the application which I made using Unqork. So this can be easily integrated. That is the main advantage of this application. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much. And I don't know how many folks know this, but Gmail was actually created as like a hackathon 20% innovation time at Google. So I think Google's got to watch out because we have folks, creating messaging apps now in Unqork in record time. So beware, everyone. So you showed us, you used some marketplace listings. You highlighted some of the other features you used. Can you maybe dig into one of those capabilities a little bit more and talk about the one that you're maybe most excited about of those specific things you used?
Yeah, I would like to talk about query parameters. So query parameter is something in which from one module we can pass data to another module, the key parameters. So if you see, the page was same, but we were showing the same page specifically for Ram, Ganesh, and other users. So that was using query parameters. Secondly, transform is something which I like. So the transform I was able to generate PDF very easily, and that is quite good, useful.
All right, awesome. So thank you, Pushparaj. Everyone, remember as you go into voting, Pushparaj's messaging app, all built codelessly. So that brings us to our finalist. Last but not least, of course, final finalist, Shivangi. Why don't you take us home with your demonstration?
Sure, let me share my screen. Can you see now?
Yep, we're good to go.
Okay, so Bookvilla is basically designed for the book bees, people who love reading. So nowadays, people are busy with to promote their work. So in this, we need someone who can. We need some critics who can give the honest review, so that it can help readers to choose wisely without wasting their time. So this, I will quickly walk you through the project. So this one is basically a review page which I have designed. Here you can see once user land, we are having a list of books. We can choose any of these books, which is having book name, author, and the list of genre. You can select fill these details, put the ratings, write some review, and then we can save it. Other than this, suppose if you don't want to choose from the book which is available on the list, you can quickly click on add new book button, which we are having here, and then provide some then can fill these details, like I'll show you quickly. Then you can select genre here. Then you can add the ratings out of 5-star. We also have reset rating option. If you want to change the rating, you can make that changes as well. Then in writer reviews here, we have up to 500 limits. You can write a review up to 500 words. And then suppose while writing the review you get stuck at some word, or while writing the review you want to emphasize on some particular word. So we have functionality help and translate. Here you can select that language or that particular word which you want to translate, and you can easily translate that word here and use that words in your reviews. Other than this, while pasting the reviews, we also need to upload some good snapshots. So here we have that functionality. You can just click on this upload functionality, and choose an image and then upload it here. After uploading, you can see the review of image here. See, and then once I click on save, uh, you can see newly record added to my screen. So this is all mostly I have used the grids here, which make this view very very styles and layout very easy. And to be honest, this app took, I mean, I have completed in couple of hours only. So I don't need to do some extra. I don't need to take some extra time or extra efforts for it. So yeah, that's all. It's related to review. Yeah.
All right, don't say that's all. That's a lot. Super cool. It actually, I docked you no points for the fact that you did make me realize I don't read enough. So I need to become a much bigger book bee because I feel bad about that. So thank you, and a couple questions for you. So you mentioned Google Translate. Is that one of the marketplace listings, and how did that help you?
So Marketplace, I have used that Google Translate API, which is available as a snippet in the Marketplace. We only need to configure we only need to generate Google API key and some tokens, and then we can easily use it, which will leverage the user to use some major functionality like convert the text from one language to another. So it's like from the very basic configuration, you can get a good functionality. You can add that good functionality at your app. Yeah.
Very cool. And I'm sure you're very proud of that. Is there anything else you wanted to call out that you're just really proud of or folks might find interesting about the build?
Yeah, basically, this nesting thing in spring 2022 release, Unqork have launched this grid nesting grids. So that grid provides that we can add more than one component or many of the components inside grid. We can nest them, and even we can nest one grid inside the other. In my application, also I have used a uniform grid inside the freeform grid. So yeah, that's very cool. Like you can easily change the layout and display of your project within few minutes or within few hours. I mean, just creating the change, just making the changes on the grids and nesting the components inside it. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So that wraps up the 4 demos of our 4 finalists. So now is where the audience gets to have some fun and contribute and help us pick the winner. So if you look in the comments, we've been sharing the URL a few times, but it's a bit.ly link. So bit.ly/Unqork Hackathon poll in Pascal case, which is where every first letter of each word is uppercase. So check the link in the comments. Head over, put in your vote, 1 vote per person, please, and help us be a part of declaring our big winner this afternoon.
Great, and then thanks, Nick, for asking all those questions, and my congratulations again to our finalists. What I really like is we got a lot of mix of like the fun use case, like a game, the messaging, like you said, the Gmail thing that you could see being woven into a lot of different applications, very specific use cases for HR, and a lot of us are familiar with like book rating systems or movie rating systems and things like that. So it's super cool to see how everything that you could pretty much imagine could be built on Unqork if you figure it out. And as we wait for votes to come in, I want to just talk about how you can see a little bit more details on these finalist submissions over the next couple of days, as well as some others who weren't quite selected as finalists. So we had more than just these 4 creators participate. We had a number of others from the community. Some wished not to share their work or not to be or to remain anonymous, but we had a couple people who said, yeah, go ahead and share. So those who were comfortable with us sharing some component, I've shared a couple of those on the community hub. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So if this was interesting to you and you want to get involved, as I mentioned at the beginning, we shared all this information. We announced the hackathon on our community hub, put out the prompt and reminders and things like that. So this is a great way where you can come. It's your one-stop shop for creator resources to access our academy, our documentation, our robust Q&A forum, and so also some new forums here. So this was part of us launching one of those new forums, and that's where you're going to find some other submissions, as well as over the next couple of days, the details where you can look at the configuration of these finalists. So if you hop in to our use case showcase forum, you'll see I've shared a couple other ones. Same type of thing, a mix of interesting use cases. One focused on insurance, another fun one, Cricket League match scheduling and scoreboard application, as well as one around that use the carousel snippet as well from the marketplace that you can take a look at. So let's click into one of these. Here's the Cricket League application. You're going to get some of what they submitted as part of their submission, a short description of their application, highlights of what use cases are relevant to this. All of them will have a link to the express preview, so you can see kind of what the front end user experience looks like. But if you want to dive in and kind of look at how did they do that, you can also look at their configuration, as all of these are hosted in our training environment. So if you have access to our training environment, you'll be able to check that out. And then for those who had a video that they're comfortable sharing as well, as this one did, we embed that so you can hear, similar to our finalists, directly from this creator who built an interesting app there. So also the good thing is, if they're comfortable sharing their name, and for our finalists, we're gonna app tag their Community Hub username. So if you have follow-up questions for any of our finalists, then you can just reply in the thread here, right? So we'll have a post for each of our finalists, as well as the other 3 that are out there. I encourage you to check it out, ask questions. Part of the community part of this and sharing our work is to learn from each other, but also to build connections and relationships with other creators all around the world. So I encourage you to check that out. So I am just going to do a quick check-in with my colleagues here to see how we're doing, if we still have votes coming in. It looks like we are ready to announce a winner, I think, right, Alex? Alex, you are doing have the honors of announcing our winner. So if we're good to go from a results standpoint, I'll turn things over to you.
Terrific. Well, the results have been coming in fast and furious. We're just letting a few final ones trickle in here. I want to just take a moment again to thank everyone who participated, and those were awesome demos. I mean, like Monica, the recruiting app, and the clever use of the dynamic grids, the filtering, it was just awesome to see. And Prem, anytime we get to see a game built in Unqork, and the graphics and the interactive game engine, was just excited. And Push Barrage, you built Gmail in a few hours. Like that's a fairly impressive lift. I know there's a lot of people around Unqork that are going to take notice of that. And Shivangi, the book thing, such a cool idea. Also very clever use of the grids and the rich data model. You captured so much data in such short time. So we are looking at the finalists. And here we are. We are going to announce a runner-up and a winner. So the runner-up is Monica with your recruiting app. I want to thank you so much. You did an awesome job. Congratulations on being our second place winner. And our final #1 first place winner, who clearly by a very big margin just wowed the entire stream and the entire audience today, is Push Barrage. Push Barrage with your simple messaging app. Really just fantastic. Congratulations to you. And also, we do want to call out all 4 of you for the great contributions. But congratulations to our runner-up and to our first place winner. It was just a joy to see what you guys built, and really fun to see everything that you were able to accomplish in Unqork.
All right. Well, thank you, Alex, for announcing that. Thank you, Danny, for organizing all of this. And thank you again to all the finalists, and to anyone else who participated, who's watching or watches this later. Thank all of you so much. This has been such a great way to demonstrate the power of Unqork, and more importantly, the power of the creators that we have using Unqork. So it was a pleasure to be a part of all of this. And thank you all again a million times for everything. Congrats to our winners, and really just congrats to everybody. So any parting words, Danny? You were the man behind the scenes and all of this. I would like you to take us, to completion here.
Sure. I think my parting words is check out the Community Hub to get into details of these as part of the recordings that we'll share. We'll share these clips if you want to watch the demos again. But like I said, you can dive in, you can look at the configuration. Push Barrage built Gmail, like Alex said. So if you want to see how he did that, go in and check out his config as well as the other ones that we'll share. But this was an asynchronous hackathon to bring us all together as a community. It's really great to have done that live. So my thanks to the finalists for joining us live, as well as all of you who attended live. If you're interested in doing something like this again, we'll explore doing it. Choose another feature to dive into, like we did the marketplace in our spring 2022 release. So send me your thoughts or put them in the chat. What did you think? Do you want to participate in this next time around? If there's interest, this is definitely has been a fun experience for us, and we'd love to do it again. So send us your feedback. Go congratulate all of our finalists. And the last thing I want to just end with is what's been really cool is to see that we had 3 different companies, 4 different people, 3 different companies represented on here. And if you extend to the other submissions, we had many more people, many other companies represented. So it's been really great to get many people from our community involved in this, and looking forward to similar exercises. And then my final plug, Nick, turning it over to you, is we're going to be live on Twitch in a couple hours for a session that was inspired by our community. So in some of our webinars, we ask, what topics do you want to see that we can cover on a Twitch live stream or webinars and things like that? And the difference between module applications and workflows was a hot topic that was coming up. And on Tuesday afternoon, Nick started that conversation, and we're going to wrap it up this afternoon. And you saw both module and workflow-based applications on this stream with the demos. So if you want to learn the details of those and the nuances, join us again in a couple hours, or follow us on YouTube to see the recording of this later on as well.
All right. Thank you, Danny. Exactly. A few hours. We'll be right back on here. Thank you again, everybody. And I hope to see you at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks all.